Imagine a world where two giants of photography, Canon and Nikon, were so focused on their traditional ways that they missed a revolution right before their eyes. This is the story of how Sony, with a single move, changed the game and left its competitors scrambling to catch up. In the fall of 2013, the photography industry was dominated by Canon and Nikon. Their cameras were the go-to choice for professionals, from wedding photographers to sports shooters. The industry had a clear hierarchy, and everyone knew their place. But Sony, with its innovative spirit, was about to disrupt this order. On October 16, 2013, Sony unveiled the A7 and A7R, the world's first autofocus full-frame mirrorless cameras with electronic viewfinders. These cameras were a game-changer, offering a compact and lightweight design compared to the bulky DSLRs of Canon and Nikon. The photography world, especially Canon and Nikon, saw these cameras as a cute experiment, a toy, but little did they know, it was the beginning of their downfall. The A7 series was not just a camera, it was a strategic masterpiece. Sony had been preparing for this moment for years, acquiring expertise and technology from Konica Minolta, experimenting with SLT cameras, and launching the NEX mirrorless system. They had a secret weapon, a deep understanding of image sensors and a vertical integration strategy that gave them an edge over their competitors. The A7's key innovation was its short flange distance, a technical detail that allowed for a compact design and the ability to adapt lenses from other systems. This meant photographers could use their existing lens collections with Sony bodies, a feature that was unheard of at the time. Sony had created a professional camera system that didn't require decades of lens development, it could borrow from the best of the best. But the A7 wasn't just about lens compatibility, it offered an electronic viewfinder that showed the final exposure before the shot, eliminating the need for constant LCD reviews. Sony brought its expertise in video and broadcast imaging, creating a camera that was more like a computer, capable of taking stunning photographs and videos. Canon and Nikon, with their traditional mindset, dismissed the A7 as a threat. They believed size was a feature, that professionals wanted big, heavy cameras. They thought their lens ecosystems were unbreakable, and that photographers would never abandon their investments. They were wrong. Professional photographers, tired of carrying heavy gear and dealing with back pain, embraced the A7's lightweight design. Sony's mirrorless system offered a fresh perspective, and photographers saw the benefits of a more compact setup. Canon and Nikon, with their focus on protecting legacy businesses, missed the mark. They continued developing their APS-C mirrorless systems, positioning mirrorless as consumer-grade technology, while Sony was building a professional full-frame mirrorless ecosystem. For 5 years, from 2013 to 2018, Sony had the full-frame mirrorless market all to itself. Canon and Nikon, believing the market didn't exist, chose not to compete. Sony used this time wisely, iterating and improving its cameras and lenses. They released the A7 II with in-body stabilization, the A7R II with a groundbreaking sensor, and the A7R III with dual card slots and improved handling. In 2018, Canon and Nikon finally woke up to the reality. They announced their full-frame mirrorless systems, the EOS R and the Z6-Z7. But it was too late. These cameras, while impressive, were competing with the A7 series, which had already evolved and improved. Canon and Nikon had spent 5 years watching Sony innovate, and their response was a half-decade late. The market spoke, and the A7 III became a bestseller. Working professionals, especially those doing hybrid photo and video work, embraced Sony's system. Canon and Nikon, realizing their mistake, quickly improved their offerings. By 2020, they had released competitive cameras, but Sony had already built an extensive ecosystem and won over a generation of photographers. Today, the mirrorless market is a three-way war, with Canon, Nikon, and Sony battling it out. Canon and Nikon have caught up technically, but they can't reclaim the cultural and ecosystem momentum that Sony gained during those critical 5 years. Sony's early lead allowed it to build a comprehensive native lens lineup and strong third-party support. The Sony A7 story is a reminder that you can't sleep through a revolution. Canon and Nikon had all the advantages, but they missed the fundamental transformation happening in the camera market. They were building better horse-drawn carriages while Sony was building automobiles. The cost of their delay was not just losing the war but fighting to regain ground they should have never lost. So, the next time you see a professional photographer, take a look at their gear. You'll still see Canon and Nikon, but you'll also see a growing number of Sony cameras with their distinctive orange GM lens rings. The photography industry has changed, and Sony's A7 series played a pivotal role in that transformation.